The focus of my development for GraphPad at this point is turned to corporate interests. So for example, companies need to have their own symbols that they use as well as their own document types. So for example, we'll just bring up a syntax drawing worksheet. Now users at this point, customers at this point need to be able to integrate and be able to save their data up to their server as well as save their and control their library definition. So they aren't relying on consulting by me to do that. So they would appoint an administrator, and at the bottom they'd have these two new features. One would be the integration, where they actually specify their company name and password along with their base URL and any endpoints that they have. These are the ones that I'm providing for them to do. And then they can actually distribute those setups. So for example, you can have multiple setups. So if you have inspectors and estimators and you have different workflows, you could actually have multiple configurations. And then if we went back over and we look at this, and right now I only have these saved up under my own account. So if we turn this off, you can actually see a list, for example, and they could actually download that setup just by clicking on it, and it would actually download it. Okay, so they would be able to control this, and once integration is set on and they save it, what they can do is they would now go to open a document. They would actually have a connection to their server. They'd see a list of their users and then a list of their files. And you'll notice these are zipped files, and essentially what I do is I take the drawing components, all the lines and circles, etc., and the areas, along with any images, and zip that up into a package, and they can actually download the whole thing. So they actually get any images that they save into their document as well. And you can see how this would work, and they'd see their drawings that are in. They can just pick up the work. Or if you're doing an estimate, they could actually similarly upload the information. So when they do a save as, they would now have the ability to upload that document, and they could change the name and upload it. So for example, use a work order number, upload. This would now connect to their backend server and load it onto their server. And then if they had any processing, for example, they wanted to strip out the drawing information or whatever they saved in the tables, we could set it up so that they could do that as well. So essentially, users, customers, for example, big corporations, could then have their own configurations. They can manage their configurations themselves and then load it onto their server. And that expands the use of GraphPad to where it's used for corporate environments where there's a lot more that they need to do other than just create a drawing. And that's my presentation. Thanks.